Good morning, folks. Good morning. How are we? Who have we got? We've got Annette. I see Annette watching. Hi, Annette. Welcome. Who else have we got? Tammy. G'day, Tammy. Nice to see you. Give us a like and a love, guys. It lets other people find the live easily if they're not within the group looking for it. Sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle for people to actually see when I'm going live, but that will just help the algorithm and help more people see that we're live. Alrighty, so how are we doing? I'm so excited about today. This is a very important topic that I want to talk about, and something that's been very important, I guess, over the majority of my life. But I want to help you create success in your life, in your health, in your transition, in your weight loss journey. So, who's here to create success in their lives? Put your hands up, give me likes, give me loves. Antonia, good to see you again. Oh my God, it's been forever. How are you, my friend? Okay, who's here to create success? Whether that's in your health, whether that's in your weight loss, whether that's in your life in general. This can help for any part of your life as well. But we're specifically talking about within what it is that you're eating, your food today. All right, so give me a like and a love, as I say. Thanks, Tammy. Awesome, awesome. Hello. Okay, so this, as I said, I think it's a really important part of the formula for creating success, and that is the importance of actually having a plan. You know, whether that's a plan to transition your diet from whatever you're eating now to a more whole food, plant-based way of eating, or whether that's having a plan just to help you stay on track to achieving your health goals, achieving your weight loss goals. Also, whether that's a plan for when you're actually going to sit down and plan. Planning out your meals, planning out your shopping list, planning the execution of your plan when you're actually going to do your meal prep or when you're going to do your cooking. Having a plan for times when you're on holiday as well can be really, really key. Having plans for when you might be going out and socializing, going to a party or going out for dinner. If you want to create success for yourself, having a plan is key. Now, I love the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. Now, do you remember the times on Facebook where we could put little quotes about ourselves and it would show up, quotes that we liked and would show up on our profile? Well, that was one of mine. I'm such a planner, always have been. I have plans for everything. I'll show you for a moment. Hang on, come over here. This over here, you'll see, this is Stickies here for the yellow part is like content upgrades for my weight loss program. Down here in the blue, we've got some content module stuff going on for my transition program at the moment. That's how I plan everything out there. And over here on my window, you can see more stickies. These are more project ideas that I have for my business. You know, I just throw all my ideas out on little stickies like that, and then as I take one idea off the wall, I will blow it up and create more stickies like it, and then I actually go and plan in how I'm going to execute it. So, you know, in my business as well, I have like a yearly view of what it is that I'm working on. I call it my yearly critical path. I've been using this tool since early 2000s, 20 years. I'll map out all the projects that I'm working on, all of the big stuff. I'll also map out any of the lives that I do here in the group for you, what I'm actually talking about each week when I'm doing it. I'll work out when I'm working on creating the content. I'll map out any challenges, any workshops that I'm doing. So And then I'll map out all the steps within these projects. I'll take the project and I'll break it down into further steps, and I'll plan out each of those steps into my weeks of the year. And then as I come to do each week, I look at my critical path and I'll look at the projects that I'm working on, and plot out exactly what chunk of time I will be dedicated to working on each of these around what it is I've already got in my diary, like my clients, etc., and sales calls. So I have this plan that starts at a big macro level, and then I chunk it down into the small pieces. So I have a essentially I have a plan that keeps me moving forward, that helps me create success, not just in my business but in my life in general. But we're not here to talk about business. We're not here to talk about my business, are we? But I do run my life in a very similar way as well. And there's a saying in coaching that goes, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so I kind of pride myself a bit on my planning skills and my love of planning. I find planning, it gives me freedom. A lot of people might say that planning is so restrictive and like, oh, you're so hemmed into what you said you were going to do. But you know what? It gives me freedom. It helps me get the important stuff done. And then I know where the gaps are. I know where the free spaces are for me to play and be spontaneous in my life, in my business, in all areas. And I approach my food like this as well. So having a plan to follow with my food means, with anything, with my business, with my life, with everything, it means I'm not trying to keep it all in here, right? Most of us are trying to keep all of our plans in here. We want to create success and we just hope that it'll happen. But guess what? Our brain is not designed for that. Our brain's not designed to keep that sort of information in there. It's not designed to store information of that sort. It's more of a processor. It's a processor of problems, of thoughts, of emotions. It stores memories that have really strong emotion attached to them. So, you wonder why you've lost your keys, where you can't find your keys or your wallet. It's because there's no emotion attached to where you put it. There's no emotion attached to the event of putting it down somewhere. So it's just like an unconscious thing. Just put it down, and then it's like, where did I put them? Your brain's not designed to remember that sort of stuff. It remembers things that have strong emotion attached to them, and it's a processor of problems. Think of it like a bit like a computer. So let's not expect that we can create a plan in our brain and it's going to stay there and we can create success from that. Right? You want to get out of your brain. You want to get those plans out of here and get them out somewhere in front of you, in front of your consciousness, whether that's out on paper, whether that's into an app. Online, there's loads of sort of planning apps now that are amazing. You can even get like food journal apps, which are amazing. And you can just use the notes section of your phone. Like everybody has a smartphone these days, or just good old diary. That's an easy way to do it as well. Or the diary in your phone works really well as well. Just anywhere that you can access quickly and is not in here. Right? You can see it with your eyes. So now, why do we actually need a plan? I'm going to last bag of spinach at the supermarket, which was tiny, went into making this very this very tasty smoothie. I feel like it's probably worth a lot of money right now, given there's no more spinach or greens around at the moment. So I'm going to enjoy it. Anyway, so why do we need a plan? I think about times in my life when I haven't had a plan. That can be any area of our life, but let's just talk about food for a moment. I know that in these times I have been caught out myself. Right? This is where I might have not looked close enough at my diary and what I've got on during the week. I've not seen quite how busy I am. I've not taken into account that I might need to shop in advance, where I need to shop. I've not taken into account where I might need to cook in advance of a really busy day. So I haven't planned that into my diary effectively. So I haven't really allowed myself enough time to be prepared. And in on days like that, there could be times when I am with clients back to back. From early in the morning to say afternoon or even into the evening, and I've got this small window of like 30 minutes or something for lunch during the day. And if I haven't looked at my diary, I've done this definitely. If I've not looked at my diary, and I haven't realized that I won't have leftovers to just heat up and eat quickly. Um, my options really in those times are just to go hungry and not eat lunch and probably not be um, focused on my clients as much because I'm focused on my hunger. Or my option is to basically race out and buy something really quickly. So that's where I'm throwing myself off track. Like I haven't considered that, oh shit, I've got no food in the fridge. I actually need to go shop. I actually need to go and get something. I need to go and then I need to make something. Half an hour is not long enough. All right. So that's where and sometimes it happens for me at the end of the day too. Like if I get to the end of the day and it's been a long day, back to back clients. I've realized, oh crap, I don't have any leftovers. I haven't shopped. I need to decide what I'm going to eat, and then I need to go and shop, and then I need to cook. My brain just goes, you know what, I'm done. I do not want to focus anymore today. I don't want to decide what I'm going to eat. That's when I'm more likely to desire opening up Uber Eats and ordering in. It's definitely happened to me in the past. So that's why I know that, if I haven't planned effectively enough, I'm caught out, and that's when I'm likely to go off track. It's around those times when I'm just not looking at my diary close enough. All right. So having a plan is essential if you're wanting to change your health or your weight results in any way. Having a plan that you work on ahead of time gives you some instructions, right? Creating the plan is actually the hardest part. The execution is the easy part, right? But here's the thing, creating the plan itself does not have to be hard. A lot of the time, most of us are telling ourselves that it's going to be hard. Like the process of planning is going to be tedious and long, and it's going to take us forever, and we don't have time, right? We make it out to be some like huge exercise that's going to take us forever to work on. And we might get ourselves all worked up in our minds just about this task, and there's more drama going on here that's creating issues for us than actually just sitting down and doing it. And the drama means we put it off because we don't want to have to, because we're making it out to be bigger than it really is. But you know what? It doesn't have to be a long and tedious process. You could sit there arguing with yourself and complaining about how long it's going to take, and in that time you're doing all of that, you could have done your plan. So how long does it realistically take you to create a plan? To plan out a week's worth of meals, let's just say, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Most people eat the same thing over and over. We've got staples that we really enjoy. We might have bought a new recipe book, so let's just throw one new recipe in. We don't have to create a whole new week worth of brand new recipes, right? So just 5 to 10 minutes. Not going to take you long. And how long does it realistically take you to create a shopping list from that meal plan? Maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Not long. How long does it realistically take you to maybe look at your diary and plot in where you're going to sit down for the 10 to 15 minutes to create that plan? Look at when you're going to shop, when you're going to cook. Is it maybe 1 to 2 minutes checking your diary? Okay, I've got some space here, some space here, some space here. Let's do it then. So it's kind of like 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes each week to create a plan for success. And once you once you allocate that time, like an appointment in your diary, you can just let your brain rest. Your brain can just stop with the drama and just get on with it. So I spoke to someone recently who was, she'd been trying to change her diet from more of a processed vegan to whole food plant based, no oil, but she was um, well, allowing the thought that somehow working full time meant that she didn't have the time to plan and to cook. Um, it's only 40 to 45 hours working, really, and that's pretty standard for most people, and most people are quite capable. So in her head, the process of planning and prepping was going to be this big dramatic event that she was just putting off. She was assuming maybe two weeks plus. So if you consider we have 168 hours in a week, let's say 45 of them are working, 56 or so sleeping, not doing anything. So that leaves another 67 hours in our week. So if we consider we only need 20 minutes of those 67 hours to plan, plus, the times that we're going to shop and cook. Now, we don't need to cook every night. We don't need to create a brand new meal every time we are going to eat. We don't need to cook every single time we are going to eat. You don't need to try and find 21 extra hours in the week to cook every single time you eat, right? You have to eat, so why not spend time? You're obviously spending time feeding yourself anyway, so why not make that time productive and feed yourself something nutritious instead? But here's why you are going to feel like you are failing if you don't have a plan. So how many times have you maybe started your day with really good intentions towards, say, your transition to whole food plant-based, or towards your weight or your health goals, and start the day really, really well. Breakfast and lunch go well. And then you get home and the shit hits the fan. All good intentions go out the window. It's like, I'm tired. I don't know what to do. You stand in the cupboard or the fridge and you go, I don't know. I don't know what to eat. I can't be bothered thinking. And so you just revert back to old habits. It's happened to all of us. It's okay. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with this. I want to say, if this has happened to you, there is nothing wrong with this. And I'm going to explain to you why. There's actually, I don't know if you'd call it biological reason as to why this happens. So here's the thing. We make plans in our brain with our conscious mind. This is our prefrontal cortex, our human brain, our smart, logical, reasoning brain, the part of our brain that desires achieving goals and wants us to achieve. Now, in the morning, after a nice long sleep, this conscious mind is well rested. It's been asleep all night. It's feeling fresh, feels energized. It feels raring to take on the day. It has your goals and your dreams in mind at the beginning of the day. And then the day happens, whether that's working, looking after the kids, doing all the chores, whatever it is. During that day, you are using your conscious mind all the time. You're making important decisions. You're learning new things. You are, using your conscious awareness to drive your day. And that conscious brain uses a lot of energy. It's a very inefficient part of the brain. So by the end of the day, when it comes to sort of end of the day, you've clocked off work or clocked off whatever you're doing, you're exhausted. Your conscious mind is exhausted. It just wants to rest. It's like, that's it, I'm done. I have finished making the important decisions for the day. I don't want to keep working. Just like you don't want to keep working all day. You can't. It's exhausting. And you know why? It's brain exhausting. So that brain wants to just relax. It doesn't want to have to make decisions about what to eat. It wants to hand those sorts of decisions back to the habit guy in the back. The unconscious mind, the habit brain, the prehistoric brain. Now, this part of the brain is always seeking comfort and seeking pleasure in the now. It wants all of its comfort and all of its pleasure quickly and efficiently with as little energy expended as possible. So, guess what happens? When this one's too tired to think about what to eat that is going to get you towards your goals, this one back here goes, you know what? We know what to eat. We'll just go back to all those old recipes that we know off by heart, that we know like the back of our hand. We're going to make what's easy, what we know. Or you're going to resort to, can't be bothered even standing up in the kitchen, I'm just going to order in or go out to dinner. Because it's easier, it's comfortable, it's pleasurable, and it's more efficient to your brain. Your brain doesn't have to think. Does that make sense? Any of it ring true for you? Hi, Laurie. Oh, Tammy. I wish you could send me produce. I wish you could too. Okay, might have to start growing my own. It's winter. It's not going to grow so well in my garden over here during winter. But anyway, all right. Does this resonate with your team? Do you recognize that habit or that pattern happening for you? And here's the thing, falling back into these old habits doesn't keep you moving forward, it holds you back. But it's normal. There's nothing wrong with you if this happens, and a lot of the time we're beating ourselves up and saying, there's something wrong with me, I just can't stick to it. There's nothing wrong with you. Your brain's just operating exactly the way it's designed. Right? So this is where we've got to use little hacks and tricks to override the brain, that primitive brain that doesn't like change and wants to revert back to old patterns, right? But we need to look at this because the results that you have today are because of the daily habits that you have at the moment, because of that primitive brain that has been driving pleasure seeking and comfort seeking. So if you want to change your results, you have to change this habit. Right? And in those early days of changing habits, we're taking it out of the habit brain and we're bringing it into the conscious brain. And that takes effort. It does take effort, which is why we don't want to keep the stuff in the brain, because that brain doesn't want to keep the stuff in there. We remember habits. When it's a habit, it just becomes automatic. But the conscious mind doesn't store stuff like that. We've got to get that stuff out on paper somewhere in front of us so that the conscious mind can read it. So this is why you want to make your conscious plans ahead of time, at a time of the day when your human brain, your conscious mind, is rested. When it's rested and it's focused on your success, which is usually in that morning period, like I say, after it's had its rest. Now, having a plan means that you are giving yourself instructions ahead of time. And this means you don't have to think about what to do anymore. And at the end of the day, when you're tired, you just need to execute. And that, my friends, is actually the easy part. It's the thinking part that's hard, that's draining, because this guy burns a lot of energy. That's why you feel tired. You know, if I've got on my plan that I'm having leftovers today, it's done. I don't need to think about it. But if I've got on my plan that I need to shop and I've already got my shopping list sorted out based on which meals I'm making, I don't need to think about it. I just need to execute. Done. Okay, that's what we're doing today, and that's when we're making our meals. If I've got on my meal plan today that I'm making burritos, because you know I love burritos, then that's easy. I know I've got all my ingredients because I previously shopped, because I planned for it. I've got all the stuff here. Let's just go and do it. I don't have to worry. There's no, oh my God, I don't know what to eat. Right? So planning your food, including meals and some snacks, so that you've got that part sorted too in advance with your conscious mind, i.e. with your dreams and your goals in mind, is that first step to setting yourself up for success. Now, this is really important when you're trying to shift your food habits. Your mind is always going to be looking for a simple solution. The brain likes efficiency and it likes things to be easy. So it wants to pass as many of those decisions back to the habit brain, the unconscious mind, which means it will try to revert back to old ways of eating if it can. So for those moments when your brain is too tired and doesn't want to think, it doesn't want to look for new recipes, it doesn't want to have to think about what to eat, it just wants an easy option. By having a plan, you've already pre-made the decisions. You already know what you're going to eat. And that plan is going to take you towards your goals. You just need to execute it. All right. When you have that plan that's made with your conscious mind, guess what? The part of your brain that plans for success is making the plan, so you're more likely to achieve success. You're more likely to achieve your goals. Think about it this way. The unconscious mind wants whatever is easy and pleasurable, comforting, simple, familiar. And the conscious mind wants you to achieve your goals. All right, so how do we create some conscious plans? What do we actually do here? One, first of all, just create some time in your schedule to actually sit down and work on this. Be as serious about this process and these appointments as any other appointment that you would make with somebody else. You know, like make it as serious as the appointment you would make to see your doctor or your specialist or someone like that. You know, this is an appointment with you. This is your time to work on yourself. This is your time to build trust with yourself, to honor yourself. And make this a regular thing. If you can make this like a regular schedule in your diary, even better. Like, this is my time every whatever, on this day, every week, to sit down and look at my plan. All right, get serious about it. Don't leave it to hope. Don't say to yourself, oh, I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it this afternoon. No try. We don't try, we do. There is no try. I think it was, is it Yoda says, there is no try, only do or do not. So you don't want to leave it to, I'll try to do it here. Schedule it in. Be serious about it. No, you can't book my time over this. I'm working on me today. All right. If you want results, you've got to take it seriously. All right. 2, make that time to work on this a time when you are actually able to focus. Right? Don't make it at a time when you're supposed to be doing things for other people. Don't make it at a time when you might have screaming kids in the background, or when you're supposed to be at work. Don't even make it at the end of the day. Right? The conscious mind is tired. It will probably take you longer because your brain doesn't want to think. So don't make it at the end of the day if you're not feeling fresh at the end of the day. Make it at a time when you are feeling fresh, when you're feeling fresh in your brain. This way you know that your conscious awareness is going to be focused, and it's going to be focused on creating a plan to help you succeed. Make it at a time when you're not tempted to react to everything that's going on around you, getting distracted. If you can, turn off things like social notifications or emails or whatever things drag your attention away from what it is that you're doing. Make a time when you can focus. Okay. Number 3, you decide what meals you're going to make. Okay, so plot this out. Plot it out on a weekly planner, if you like. Now, I've got a template if you'd like it. It's just a Google template. I can give you that if that's going to help you. You can print it out or you can use it online. But just plot out what you're going to have at a high level for each of your meals. Plot out what snacks you'll have as well, what options you want to have for snacks. Plot out for as many days as makes sense for you. whether that's a whole week at a time or whether that's just a few days at a time. It is not one way to do this. We want to find what's going to work for you. And then what you want to do is you want to create the shopping list from your meal plan. So, all right, go through, check what you've already got, and fill in the blanks. Number 5 is look at your schedule and plan to do this, plan everything in around what's already going on for you. So plan in things like, first of all, it's when you're going to sit down and create the plan. Plan in when you're going to shop. It's like an appointment in your diary and no one can interrupt that. Plan in when you are deciding you're going to cook each and every meal. And like I said, you don't have to cook. You don't have to put time in to cook every single day. Find what's going to work for you in your schedule. Some people love to do things like shopping on the weekend, say on a Saturday, and then they might do all of their food prep for the coming week on a Sunday. That really works for a lot of people, particularly, if you don't have a lot of time during the week for cooking. If you come home from work and you are too exhausted to get in the kitchen, that sort of a plan may work for you. But you don't have to do that either if that's not going to work for you, if it doesn't make sense for you, right? There is no one way. What you want to do is look at what's coming up in your schedule and determine what is going to work for you. Create your plan from that. Look at whether there's any prep that you want to do. When will you need to do that prep? For example, like some people like to prep rice and beans and things like that in advance. So they've got a batch of it there and they just need to add that to their meals. So look at that. Do you want to do that? And if so, when are you going to do that? Put that in your diary. Make it a calendar and a calendar appointment with yourself. Some people love to do things like prepping all of their fruit and veggies as soon as they get home, like washing them and then cutting them all up and putting them all in containers. So again, when they go to cook, it's just easy. They can save that time from their cooking time later in the week. Right? So if that works for you, that's another amazing idea that you can pick up as well. But again, you don't have to do that if that doesn't make sense to you. But the thing is, if you have a plan, you're more likely to follow it. If you don't have a plan, your brain's going to revert back to old habits. If you're eating out in your week, right? If you're going to be eating out, plan that in as well. Know when you're eating out. Now, I know this is not always in the plan. Sometimes it's a spontaneous event, but if you do know in advance, plan for that. Don't plan to cook that night to cover you for meals for the following days if you're not going to be home, if you're going out to dinner. I have done that. I would usually do a cook that lasts for a few days whenever I get in the kitchen. It usually lasts me for 4 or 5 meals or so. And if I've not had something like a dinner date or something like that in the diary, and, in my mind, I'm going to be cooking that night to cover me for, following day's meals and, lunches and dinners and stuff like that, then I'm caught out, right? Oh, forgot going out to dinner that night. I can't cook. So my schedule for eating's been thrown out for the next few days, right? And then I end up buying because I'm caught out, because that's the easiest option. And that used to happen to me more in my corporate days when I wasn't working from home and didn't just have the kitchen here. Now I can sort of scramble around and change things up easily. But back in the old days, I would get caught out quite a lot. So what we're trying to avoid here is reverting to old ways of eating because we've been caught out. If you're eating out, if that's in the plan, if you have an idea of what you're eating, you can put that in the plan as well, right? You can look at the menu online. There's probably no restaurant out there at the moment that doesn't have a menu online, so at least you can have an idea of what you're going to eat and plan with your conscious mind to stay on track and eat something that is not going to be like, that's not going to take you further away from your goals. All right. So, as I said, there's no one right way to plan. It's all about finding what is going to work for you. And I'm sorry if you were sitting there wanting to know exactly how to plan and what to plan. There's no one way. We've got to find what is going to work for you. It really does look differently for every single person. Um, and I don't like telling people that you must plan your food on Saturdays, and you must shop at the weekends, and you must prep on a Sunday for your week coming, because I know this doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for me. So I don't expect that it's going to work for everybody else as well. Now, if that works for you, wonderful, awesome, do it. But it's more important that you establish a routine that works for you. So, what works for me? What do I do? Well, I live in an apartment on the fourth floor with no lift. So, when I go shopping, I'm carrying my bags up with me. So, I don't want to do big shops all at once. My apartment is also right next to a tram stop, and on the other side of the tram line is the supermarket. So it's very quick and convenient for me, and less time consuming for me to just walk over that tram line, into the supermarket and go and grab some groceries. It's so much quicker to do that than to go all the way down into another building where my car is parked, and go out onto the street all the way around the block, all the way around here, and then into the supermarket, and then go and shop, and then go all the way back round. Probably could have been and back. I would have been there and back from the supermarket in the time I could have driven out and around the block with all the lights and everything that's going on. So for me to go and get my car and do a big shop, and then if I'm in the car park, it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 loads of carrying up. No, I'm not going to shop for a week at once, right? I probably pop over to the supermarket. I shop for about 1 to 2 meals at a time. I make enough within each time I cook to last me for at least 2 meals. It's at least, say, a dinner and a lunch. Usually it's more than that. Usually it's more like 5 meals that I make. Like, so one cook will make about 4 or 5 servings. So for me, when I go shopping, it's usually 1 bag of shopping, sometimes 2, if I'm maybe doing 2 to 3 meals at a time. And I plan this in to my week when I'm doing it, as I'm planning my business week. And I also plan at that time all my personal activities that I have going on. And that only takes me all up, including my business planning, an hour. I call it Monday Hour 1. It's the first thing I do on a Monday. Okay, what does my week look like? What's the stuff that's already in there? What's the overlay stuff, the projects that I'm working on? When do I need to shop? When do I need to cook? When do I need to, when am I working on my meal plan? All those things. I plot all of that in there. And that only at a total takes me an hour for the week. I also plan on things like when I'm exercising, when I've got personal appointments, all that sort of stuff. And yes, only takes me an hour. So I'm giving myself that plan with my meals. I decide what couple of meals I'm making. And I'm in a routine now where I keep notes in my phone, specifically for groceries. And I'll write the meals that I'm making in there. And then, because I found sometimes I would shop for a new recipe, and then I would forget what I was going to make. So I now put the actual recipes in my phone as well. It's nothing worse than getting home and, like, you've got all these groceries. It's like, I forgot what I was going to make. That's that new recipe from which book was it? Where was it? So I keep a track of all my meals in there now as well. So when I know the meals, I'll look at what I have on hand. I'll get what I need. I keep a running grocery list in there, and anytime I run out of staples, be they my food or anything else, cleaning products, cat food, all that sort of stuff, I'll just add those to the list, so that by the time I go shopping, I know exactly what I need. Now, I don't expect you to do things exactly the way I do them either, right? Like I say, it's more important that you discover what sort of planning works for you, but having that plan is the key to your success. Not having a plan um, is that's when the unconscious brain is more likely to take over and lead you astray. It's going to take you back to those old, familiar, comfortable, easy meals or ways of eating or habits that you have that got you into this place in the start to start with. So um, we don't want that pleasure seeking, comfort seeking brain to take over. We don't want to rely on this brain. We want to have a plan that moves us forward and has our best interests in mind and has our goals and our dreams in mind. So make it yours. Make it yours. Now, if anyone wants, I do have that basic meal planner. It's actually a 12-week blank meal planner that you can use to plan out your food each week, and it has a space for your shopping list as well. So drop me in the comments if you want this hashtag meal plan, and I'll get that to you. Okay, and it also has a food journal attached to it. So, for those of you specifically who have weight and health goals, having a plan is one thing, but executing it is another. Right? I've spoken to so many people and clients and other people saying that they're really struggling to achieve their goals. They think they might be doing things perfectly, but when we dig into it, they're actually not. That's what their brain wants to tell them. That I'm doing it all perfectly. But in reality, they're actually not aware of just how off plan they are actually eating. There's a lot of unconscious eating that is actually going on. And what happens, if we have good intentions to follow our plans, but we don't have any process to follow up that plan, then we can be missing the times that we're actually eating off plan. All those little bit of extra bits and pieces that we're putting in our mouths that can be contributing to our health or our weight issues. So follow through on your plan is just as important as having a plan. So the 12-week food plan and journal that I've got here, it allows you to write down what you did actually eat, and then to assess how that week went. And I'm just going to flip over to it for a second so I can show you. Well, I won't show you, but I'll just talk to you about what it's got on here. It's got meals on plan this week, so there's like essentially 28 including snacks. Meals on plan this week out of 28, which is what percentage? How do I feel about my numbers if I ate off plan? Do I like my reason? I.e., I had a plan, but someone goes, let's go out to dinner, so of course I wasn't going to eat that plan. It was a spontaneous change. If I do I like my reason? If I don't like my reason, what are my learnings and what would I do differently next time? All right, so that's helping you assess what possibly didn't go right, where you possibly went off plan, and what you learnt, and how you would do it differently. So we just want to look at this as data, and we want to look at it as something that's going to help you move forward. We don't want to look at it with a judgmental eye. Judging yourself doesn't help you achieve your goals. So we don't do that around here. No judging and criticizing of ourselves. Thank you. We just want to get curious. Okay. And if you're trying to lose weight in particular, you might want to say, okay, my weight's going up, or it's plateauing. What is my plan looking like? This was my plan, but I can see I'm actually not sticking to the plan. I'm reverting to old habits all the time. I'm not following through on my plan. Let's get back to the plan and see then what impact that has on weight. So it can just bring some awareness around what might need to shift. Often it's not actually the plan that needs to shift, but it's the execution of the plan. So it's about having a plan for success and then following through on that plan to create success. Everything else around that plan to achieve your goals is mindset and emotional work. Any objection that you have to working on this process is a part of your belief system or your identity that needs work, all right? If you can't follow through with your plans that you set for yourself, then your work is to understand what drama is going on in here that is preventing you from following through. or what drama is preventing you out in the world from even creating a plan, right? The version of you that will achieve your weight and your health goals is a different version of you today, right? Your work is a lot of your work to achieve those goals is in here. It's in the mind. That version of you will show up differently for yourself every single day. That version of you doesn't allow life to get in the way of achieving your goals and doing the things that you want to do. That version of you doesn't make any excuses to following through with your plans. That version of you doesn't also blame others or other things, other events in your life for the results that you have. That version of you does what needs to be done because it's just part of who you are. That version of you is so powerful. And that version of you creates the weight, the health, and the life that they want. So let me ask you guys, who is ready to become that version of themselves? Who is ready to step into their power? Who here wants to achieve permanent weight loss? Who here wants to achieve that permanent weight loss by Christmas this year? Who's ready to give it 6 months commitment to seriously stepping into the powerful version of themselves? Who's ready to lose 10, 15, 20 kilos by Christmas? That's between, I don't know, 25 to 45-ish pounds. That comes from within, right? It comes from you shifting who you're being every single day, not just shifting what you're eating, not just shifting what you're doing. It comes from shifting who you're being, how you're showing up for yourself. When you shift who you're being every single day, that's when the magic starts to happen. So many of my weight loss clients have said that they feel so different coming out of my program, because we don't just focus on food. We focus on you, the person. We focus on how you think, what you believe. What are your thoughts and beliefs that are helping you in your journey? Or what are the thoughts and the beliefs that are holding you back? We learn to manage our emotions in effective ways that take us towards our goals rather than away from our goals. We also learn that it's okay to make mistakes, and mistakes are welcomed as learning opportunities. We learn that self-sabotage is normal, resistance to change is normal, and we don't make it a problem. It doesn't have to hold us back from achieving our goals. So we dive into our identity, who we're being at the moment versus who we want to be. Where are the gaps and what do we need to do? How do we need to shift in order to bridge that gap? We learn to build confidence in ourselves, even when we don't have all the answers, even when we don't feel confident. Right? I think this is where my coaching program differs so much to a lot of the others in the plant-based space. I'm not just coaching you on what to do. I'm not just helping you do different things. I'm not just coaching you on the protocol, on your action line. I'm helping you become the person that you actually want to become. So that doing the things is just natural. It's not a struggle. It's not something you resist. It's not something you need a rest from either. So seriously, if you are ready to change your life, I'm ready to hear from you. My diary is pretty damn chocker at the moment, but I am willing to do what I can to make space for you if you're serious and ready to go. Christmas won't be the same this year. No, it's going to be so much better. All right. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? If you are, I want to hear from you. Let's do this. Right. If you are ready, drop me a note below, right? Say hashtag goals if you're motivated and ready to go, ready to crush it. All we're going to do is have a chat, right? No obligation. We'll just see if we're a good fit to work together. But I want to help you if you're ready to be helped. If you're ready to become that next version of you, if you're ready to release all the bullshit that's been holding you back, and you're ready to step into being that powerful version of you, I am so ready to help you. Are you ready to do it? Let's do it, folks. All right. You guys have been absolute legends. I love you all. Thank you for being with me today. Don't forget, hashtag meal plan if you want me to send you that meal plan, and hashtag goals if you're ready to crush your goals by Christmas. Love it, guys. I'm going to come back and check the comments very, very shortly. I'll chat to you all soon. Ciao for now.